Greetings everyone! Welcome to part 3 of Sonic and Mega Man Worlds Unite! Things are starting to pick up in this crossover, but before we get started, let's briefly recap the previous part. While trying to find Sigma, X-Zero and Axel end up on the wrong Sonic world. They make the acquaintance of the local denizens and track down the means to leave this universe. Meanwhile, Dr. Eggman initiated a new bromance with Dr. Wily as the two work on corrupting their enemies, while at the same time plotting behind Sigma's back. And the issue ended with our transformed heroes in each other's worlds causing mayhem. We start with a battle already in progress. Sonic Man's taking down the Light Robot Masters with ease. And if you're slightly confused about the situation, part of it will be explained in this battle book, which I will review at some point. Oh look, double nod. The reason the Light Bots are taking out so quickly is because they're not made for combat. Even Dr. Light mentions this fact. However, Dr. Light brought in reinforcements made for combat, the reformed Wily Bots. If you haven't watched my Mega Man reviews or my Worlds Unite intro, here's what's going on. Not long after the Mega Man 3 adaptation, Dr. Light rebuilt and reactivated Wily's 16 Robot Masters. However, there was a price to being reactivated: get reprogrammed to serve mankind or be decommissioned. Half of the Robot Masters chose the decommissioning route. The group seen here chose to be functioning members of society, except for this one. Who is this female Robot Master? Meet Quake Woman, aka Tempo. She was created by Dr. Noel Lalande to be a geological survey robot. At first, Dr. Lalande and Tempo's relationship was analogous to Dr. Light and Rock and Roll's. However, a mining accident buried Quake Woman and Dr. Lalande was in a panic. She was able to salvage Quake Woman, but decided to remove Quake Woman's personality so that she wouldn't get too attached. It didn't work. Dr. Lalande still saw Tempo as a daughter. After an incident involving terrorists at a robot convention, she restored Tempo's personality. Tempo is now relearning what it's like to have emotions, though she now has a fear of getting buried. Back in Mega City, a Genesis portal opens up and lowers one of the Unity devices. Before Sonic Man activates it, he gets a face full of hard knuckle. The Robot Master reinforcements arrive to stop him. In Mobotropolis, the Freedom Fighters have their hands full with Mega Man. Let me talk briefly about the non-remaining Sega Sonic members of this team. The coyote with the sword is named Antoine the Coolet. Years ago, he came to Mobotropolis as part of a soldier exchange program. Unfortunately, he came at the wrong time because not long after, Eggman started his attack. He considered himself a coward and tried to hide this fact by being a jerk, but it was all for naught. Things started changing for him when he first noticed someone who refused to give up. A handicapped bunny named Bunny. She once had dreams of becoming a hairstylist, but then Eggman happened. During the attack, she was critically injured. To save her life, a professor named Chuck subjected her to the robotization process. It worked, but now Bunny has a robotic left arm and robotic legs. But that won't let it stop her. Plus, what helped her was the fact that people treated her no differently. She and Antoine became close as they spent time fighting robots and just having a quiet talk. Eventually, the two got married. The final member of the team is Rotor, the battle mechanic. He would create weapons for the team and collaborate with Tails on a number of inventions. He's been doing this for years, and it was because of his different mindset that led him to run away from home. Let's just say that his dad was a douche. Back to the story. Sally orders Cream via Omochow. Yes, Omochow, to call Vanilla. Why? The heroes need Gemeral's help. Knuckles and Rotor think they have Mega Man cornered. A pair of bumpers say otherwise. Bunny distracts Mega Man long enough for Big the Cat to body slam the robot. The face here just sells it. As we can see here, another Unity engine has arrived, and not only has it anchored itself to the ground, it raised its shield. Back in Mega City, the Robot Masters forced Sonic Man within Flash Man's range so he could stop him. However, Sonic Man's resistant to Time Stopper and knocks away Flash Man. He then binds the Robot Masters in rings. Even Leaf Shield gets this treatment. Several homing shots later, and the Robot Masters are out of the fight. As Sonic Man tends to the Unity engine, a new challenger approaches. Yep, Breakman. He teleports the Robot Masters away so it's just the two of them. In Mobotropolis, Mega Man gets rid of Big thanks to some bubbles. Don't know how that works, but okay. Thanks to some decoy barriers and a rash decision by Knuckles, the Freedom Fighters are taken out of the fight. Before Mega Man can activate the Unity engine, Gemerol arrives and declares his intentions to take him down. And so we have a parallel one-on-one fight between our corrupted heroes and some powerful robots. However, things go badly for Breakman and Gemerol. Sonic Man pushes Breakman into the Unity engine's shields, shorting him out, and an egg laser to the face takes out Gemerol. With no more opponents, the two activate their respective Unity engine. Back in the Lost X, we learn Sigma's plan. He's fusing the two worlds together to acquire energy from both of them. And we can't forget what the doctors have planned. Soon, both Sonic Man and Mega Man notice something. Each other. And we end the part with one of them targeting the other. Sonic Man and Mega Man own this part of the story. It's a showcase of the roboticized Masters' abilities, with the Robot Masters and the Freedom Fighters being target practice. Let's start talking about Sonic Man. No, not that one. With Sonic Man, Wily apparently focused on weaponizing Sonic's abilities and items. We have the homing shot.
It's like a homing shot.
Yes, thank you. The ability to trap enemies in rings, using bouncy springs as a shield and to repel enemies, and of course, spin dashing similar to previous robotic Sonics. Also, he moves so fast that he overcame Flashman's Time Stopper. This actually makes sense. Let me explain. Time Stopper is Quickman's weakness, and Quickman is a very fast robot. But as shown in the first crossover, Sonic easily outran Quickman. I think we can all do the math here, folks. Earlier, I pointed this out as a double nod. On the Sonic front, Sonic Man's using weaponized versions of two elemental shields, the Thunder Shield and the Flame Shield. On the Mega Man front, Sonic Man used the weapons against Time Man and Bomb Man respectively. Anyone familiar with Robot Master weaknesses should point out that Time Man is weak against electric-based attacks, and Bomb Man's weak against fire attacks. Let's switch over to Mega Man. Eggman utilized Mega Man's copy ability to his advantage, uploading various egg weapons and obstacles. The Egg Wrecker, which is based on the Egg Mobile H. The Egg Hammer, which could be based on the Egg Hammer tank, but because of the name in the caption box, it's more than likely based on the Egg Hammer Badnik series. The Egg Bumper is more than likely based on those bumper shields the Crawl Badniks carry. The Egg Flame Cannon could be a nod to this machine. However, there is a Badnik called Egg Flame from Sonic Unleashed, so maybe. The Egg Bubble Trap. I admit, this one was harder to figure out. You could say that it's a nod to the title Tempest boss from Sonic CD, or for some reason or another, Sonic's third elemental shield, the Aqua Shield. The Egg Drill Launcher definitely came from Egg Mobile D, especially when Eggman launches it when he has only one hit left in the game. The Eggman Decoy Barrier is obviously referring to the Flying Eggman machine, especially with the whole decoy angle. Finally, the Egg Laser could be a nod to this, or even this. Folks, if I'm wrong with any of these references, feel free to mention it in the comments. In addition to using the Freedom Fighters and the Robot Masters as target practice, another story parallel happened. The appearance of one final challenger before the corrupted hero activates the Unity engine. But there's more to this parallel than meets the eye. Both robots were repaired, or in the case of this one, rebuilt using a previous robot's data, and they ended up serving the doctors that worked on them for at least one game. Also, the games in question have the number 3 in them. Here's where things start to differ. Breakman worked for Wily, sure, but at the same time was testing Mega Man. In the game at least. In the comic, Breakman was jealous of Mega Man. It was only after the two fought during the Mega Man 3 arc that Breakman started the transition to his Proto Man persona. Though, it'll take an incident from Mega Man 4 for him to break away from Wily for good. Gemerol was loyal to Eggman throughout his game. And I should note that Sonic Advance 3 also involved putting the planets back together. So yeah. At the end of that game, our heroes found Gemerol damaged, and Tails was able to repair and reprogram him. Thanks to Gemerol remembering Cream thanks to his previous incarnation Emerald, he settled down with Cream's family. This is actually a good opportunity to point out something between the two robots. how they handle being part of a family. Breakman, the future Proto-Man, has a strained relationship with his family. Sure, his relationship with Mega Man will get better, and he has no quarrel with Roll, accidents notwithstanding. But Breakman and Dr. Light? Yeah, their relationship won't improve for a long time. Their history is more than likely the reason he won't come home, becoming the lone wolf character and occasionally helping out Mega Man. Gemerol, on the other hand, has found a measure of peace with Reem and her mother, becoming part of the family, as it were. In fact, he was angry that he had to fight Mega Man in this issue. And I should point out that Gemerol's personality is somewhat like Sonic's. I believe it's because he copied it when he first encountered Sonic in the game, though I could be wrong. You know, it's amusing that we have a brief battle between two robots with copy abilities, but I digress. So we learn Sigma's plan. He wants to absorb the energies of the other worlds. The reason for the Unity engines is to merge the Sonic and Mega Man worlds so that they won't collapse right away. Sonic's world makes sense because there are numerous energy sources like rings, Chaos Emeralds, and more recently, Dark Gaia. Now, what energy sources does Mega Man's world, which is technically Sigma's world in the past, have? Ideas, anyone? I have nothing new to say on the art because, once again, it's Dan's breakdowns, with Tracy doing the finishers, plus Lewis's coloring. After giving it some thought, I've decided to give this issue a 9. Sure, most of it was fight scenes, but the appearance of Breakman and Gemerol had me thinking, why would Ian include these two at the same moment? And for that, I gave this story an extra point. There are no appearances of the X and Boom characters, save for Sigma, but I'm okay with it. They would have no place in this story thanks to the parallels I mentioned earlier. So the next part is the apparent fight between Sonic Man and Mega Man, just as the doctors planned. And how will the other characters fit into all of this? Until then, folks, have a good day and be safe. I see we have the return of the Brofist, but shouldn't there be an evil there somewhere?